Welcome, gentlemen, to my little honing session. Today I will touch up my razor, my Japanese frameback Hanamasa. This beautiful thing here, I hope you can see it. Don't know, let me. Alright. I think this was a razor I honed in the last video, but I will do it again. So let me explain something. We have the Shobudani Asagi, Komanagura, and to finish it off, this is a little Lydian touchstone, very very hard, very very fine, and yeah, we will raise basic stone slurry with this Lydian because it's extremely hard and it's nothing. It's compared to a diamond, I think. Just kidding. Alright, let's start. So we raise a mid-range. After bevel setting has always been done with a diamond slurry Nagura. What am I talking about? This is a diamond Nagura and I will work with diamond Nagura slurry. Alright, no I haven't. I aim for quite thick slurry because after the edge join I think I need some more abrasive material in my slurry than I need to finish my razor. I hope this is understandable. So I'm aiming for a creamy slurry, let's say. Not too much more water, not too less. The razor needs to glide. If the slurry is too thick, the razor cannot glide and it's just stucking on the slurry, I think. Well, this is enough, I think. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Dry in my hands. Take the razor. And begin. I'm not counting strokes and I don't do every stroke on the opposite side. This is bullshit. The bevel is already set and the stone is so fine that you cannot. What is it? I don't know how to explain it in English, but it's not possible to get one side of the bevel bigger than the other one. This is not happening with this fine stone. So you can just polish your bevels and you will try. Some razors have a very light smile in it, and you need to adjust your motion, your honing motion to it, so you can get the heel and the tip and everything in between. This is very very important. If you don't catch everything from the blade or the edge, let's say, the razor will not be sharp equally on every on every part. As you can see, the slurry is quite thick and now I need to water it a bit, just 2 or 3 drops, just to keep it creamy. That's enough already. And as you can see, maybe, I don't know, the slurry was quite bright in the beginning and now it starts to get a brownish color. The brownish color is because of the oxidation from the metal. I shave off metal with this stone and with the slurry, and the slurry is oxidating. So your slurry starts to get brown. trying to get as much as I can out of the slurry with a light hand and a bit of torque. You always need to torque your razor a bit to the front, just a bit. I always try to just use the weight of the razor. My fingers are only guiding, yeah, for guiding service, you can say. The razor only sits on the stone with its own weight. That's very important, and a bit of torque, of course. The torque is very important because if you don't torque your razor, it might be slip over the slurry. And now my slurry really starts to get very brown, and I don't want my razor to rust. So now it is time to move on and wash it all off, because the oxidation of the slurry will I don't know how it's called. We'll get over to the razor at one point. No, it's not that point now, but one point it will. And it will leave stains on your blade. So wash it off now. If you are thinking that your razor is not be done with the middle range, this is the point to change your slurry. Just make a new one. But I'm done now. All okay. And I will move on to the next Nagura. And my next one will be the Koma. I think the whole Nagura, the Mikawa Nagura, is a little overkill. Because you don't need Botan, Tenju, and Meijiro, and Koma. It is a little bit, not just a little bit, it is very much overkill. The razor stones, normally the razor finishing stones, like Usuku, Nakayama, Uriya, every stone that is very hard and very fine doesn't need this progression. It's very much overkill. If you have a lot of razors to hone, you will notice it. And now it's time for the Koma Nagura, as I said. And I aim for a creamy slurry as well, because I want the razor to be smooth, and I want every scratches made by the 1K stone get erased. So I have the whole edge in the J-nut slurry, in the J-nut haze. The J-nut haze is a term, I don't know where it comes from, but I think it comes from the microscope guys, like me. The particles, the abrasive particles in the slurry will leave little tiny holes in your edge, and you will see those little tiny holes under the microscope. If you see the microscope pictures from me or from some other guys, you will see some very tiny holes, very I don't know. They are everywhere. The complete edge is covered with little holes, and those little holes is called the J-nut haze. It's very hard for me to explain this in English. I hope you will understand. I will just move on now, and yeah, going on with the Koma. And I do the same with the Koma slurry as I did with the mid-range Diamond Nagura slurry. Don't counting strokes, just do everything by feel. After some years or after some months, I would say after 30 to 50 raises, you will get your hand, the muscle memory is there. If you once do it correctly and repeat it correctly, your hands will remember this. And they are not able to do anything different. It's just natural, really. I don't wait now until the slurry starts to get brown, because the Koma Nagura slurry doesn't shave off as much metal as the Diamond Nagura slurry. This is just to fine out the polish and to get the apex right in the middle. I will not use only water on this stone. I will explain this later. So, done with the Koma. Moving on to the Lydian. With the Lydian, it's very important to don't use pressure. If you use pressure, you will scratch your surface, because the Lydian is much harder than your J-nut, I bet. The Lydian is just there to close the surface and to burnish the surface, like you do with a surgical black Arkansas or a very high-grade Novacolite. You don't aim for a big slurry. Anything you will. Oh shit! English is very hard for me. Sorry, guys. You go only by feel. You try to close the surface from the Diamond Nagura and the Koma, because Koma and Diamond Nagura are raising little high spots on your stone, and the Lydian flats it out completely. This will take some time. It's not a quick job with the Lydian. The Chunagura is a bit faster, but the Chunagura is not as hard as the Lydian. So the Chunagura will always leave some of his own particles in your slurry, and the Lydian will definitely not. So, and when you think you're done, you're completely done with the whole surface of the stone, tip it off. Try to get as much from the surface stone particles in the water, and yeah. Then some drops of water. Moving on. I will do only 10 to 20 passes on this one with a very, very, very light hand and a bit of talk, because I already done the complete bevel. The polish is done, and this is just for to smooth out the surface. I do the same thing with the razor now, what I have done with the Lydian on the stone now. The stone surface is now preparated to burnish the razor edge surface. And again, you need a very, very light hand. I actually try to do less weight of the razor. I try to lift up the razor's weight. Actually, I don't want to lift the razor. I don't want to lift the razor, but I want to reduce the weight of the razor. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do. Maybe this is just some imagination of me, but with my hands, I'm trying to do. I'm trying to reduce the weight of the razor. Maybe this sounds silly, but it works very, very, very well. So this very, very light slurry burnishes the surface of the edge, and after this strokes, normally I'm done. So you might heard of a term called slurry dulling. This is when your slurry particles, the abrasive particles in your slurry, cut in your razor's edge. The slurry particles are so fine that they can dull your razor. So you get a very smooth shave, but it will tuck, and it will tuck very badly. I am doing something that I learned from who was it? I think it was Murray Carter, the guy that was in Japan, learned his forging techniques, and yeah, it was Murray Carter. And this little trick is just honing backwards, like you do on your straw. So the particles in your slurry cannot cut in your edge because you roll over it. And this is what I do at the very, very, very last step. I just do I do some strokes, not much, maybe 10 or so, to get rid of those slurry dulling. I'm sure there's not much, because the coma slurry isn't very abrasive. It's more like chalk, and chalk is not abrasive at all. But the coma is a little, and its ability to polish is very, very good. So the Japanese and the razor guys use it, but not much abrasive. So that's it. And now comes what everyone wants to see, I think, because there was a lot of dimension. Some guys demanded that I should make a new video of setting a micro bevel with a big lutein, and that's what I'm going to do now. Take away this shit here. Here's my lutein, and as you can see, as I put water on it, it will just flow away. And the lutein is my priest drop, you could say. What I'm doing here is not honing in the same manner as I did on the shobu. I will lift the spine and polish just the apex. I hope this is visible. You don't need much strokes, and of course no pressure at all. Just tickle the stone, a few strokes. And now I'm done, actually. That's it. That's how I finish my razors. And of course they are lightsaber sharp. Enough of this. So this is the point. I think I will have to thank all the guys that were with me in the last 3 years. Actually, it was 4.5 years, but the last 3 years was the most successful years for me in the progression of honing. And I think now I'm there where I am. Well, I think I am now there where I wanted to be 4 years ago. The shaves are just smooth, very, very smooth. No tugging at all. You don't feel, sometimes it's very, very hard to feel the hair is cut. Sometimes it feels just like you wipe away the lather. And that was very, very strange to me because I had to touch my face. I really had to touch my face, but I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will make some pictures now, some microscopic pictures, and add those pictures to the straight razor honing group and my own group, the Nimrod Blades group. Not a group, my own site, Nimrod Blades site. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.